Welcome everyone to the Avengenerds podcast, where we're talking about DC, Star Wars, and more. I'm the host Torrent, and with me is my co-host Peyton.
Yo.
Today we'll be doing a Mission Impossible tier list and the news of the week. There'll be time code in the description and the show notes if you want to jump around. With that, here's Peyton with the news.
All right, Torrent, let's get into it. This is according to Daniel RPK. James Darcy will reportedly reprise his role as human Jarvis in the Disney Plus Vision series. This is very exciting as a viewer of the Agent Carter series. This guy's great. Obviously, I guess most people would have seen him in Avengers Endgame, where he showed up for that 10-second scene with Stark's dad, Howard. That's his name. But yeah, he's really great. And the streets are saying this Vision series is actually looking to be pretty solid. So I'm really curious. This is definitely one of those situations, like who asked for this situations, but it'll end up actually being really good. At least that's the hope. And getting James Darcy back as this character is very, very exciting. And also, presumably at least, we'd actually get both Jarvises on screen for the first time, and I think that would be fun. Next up, this is according to this is according to Bloomberg, but also just a bunch of different sources seem to report this at a similar time. But EA has canceled their Black Panther game and shut down the studio they formed to specifically make the game. And according to Bloomberg, apparently T'Challa, Killmonger, and Shuri were all playable characters, all vying for the Black Panther mantle. Apparently the main villains were going to be the Skrulls invading Wakanda, and a new system inspired by the Nemesis system was being built for the game. So this sucks, but also like it was EA.
Yeah.
How good could it have been? I mean, I know EA, technically did the Jedi games, but that was like Respawn. Respawn was already established as a studio, and this was a completely new studio formed by EA. So, but the fact that they could just take a character like Black Panther, start making a game, and just cancel like you have access to one of the hottest superhero names right now, and you're just like, like I don't understand EA's decision making. Like, where's Battlefront 3? We all need it. The streets need it, Torn. But it's not happening. Torn, this is according to Nexus Point News. Mark Ruffalo is rumored to be returning as Bruce Banner / the Hulk in Spider-Man Brand New Day. This was definitely unexpected, based on what we know for the movie. The only thing I could think of is maybe they're gonna try to tie in maybe a gamma radiation sort of connection with maybe like Mr. Negative. That's the only thing I can kind of see there being a connection with. Also, a lot of people are speculating if Mr. Negative, take him from the games, for example, he can go to in your mind or whatever, or in your subconscious or what have you. And maybe he splits the personalities again for Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and people are speculating maybe this is how we get, Monster Hulk back. We'll see, I guess, because obviously this is definitely going to lead into Doomsday, and we'll see what happens there. But I also see people being like, oh, why can't Spider-Man ever be on his own in the MCU? Why is there always an MCU character? It's Sony. It's always Sony. Basically, they didn't want Spider-Man in the MCU, but they, back in 2016 or 2015 or whatever, when they felt like they had to, one of the stipulations for their deal was that in a solo movie, there had to be some high-level MCU character within the solo film, which is why we have Iron Man in Homecoming, which is why we have Nick Fury in Far From Home, which is why we have Doctor Strange in No Way Home. It's Sony, because they want that they want that connection so badly that this is always going to be the case as long as Sony's involved. So that's why blame Sony. It's always Sony. Is what it is. But I'm definitely curious to see how this is going to turn out. Also, I think it would be fun, I like seeing Peter Parker like nerd the fuck out, and like having Bruce Banner there, like two sciencey dudes. Like I adored that scene in No Way Home with Peter and Norman Osborn when they were, you know, trying to figure out the cure together. I love that stuff. So I'd love to see more of that with Bruce Banner. And also give Mark Ruffalo more to do. Just like I trust Destin Daniel Cretton. I'm curious if we're actually going to see any action with Hulk, or if it's just going to be like a Professor Hulk situation where he's just kind of. I also saw some people speculating that maybe, you know, they're going to take Professor Hulk literally and make him a professor at Peter's college. That'd be kind of fun. But I don't know. But that is the last piece of news, Torn, which means it's time to move on to our topic, which is, of course, ranking the Mission Impossible movies. So, setting some ground rules. Oh my God, you're gonna get us. You're gonna get the video claimed. That was so accurate. Setting some ground rules. First of all, you're gonna hear some clicking from my mouse as I drag stuff around and stuff. Second of all, spoilers for all these movies, including Final Reckoning. Obviously, we're going to talk about all of these, but we'll probably talk about Final Reckoning the most because that's the most recent, freshest in our minds. But yeah, spoilers for all of these, but especially Final Reckoning. So if you haven't seen it, beware. But yeah, we have S, A, B, C, D, F. S being the best, F being the worst. You get it. It's a tier list. So let's get started, Torn. We're gonna go in release order because that would make the most sense. Starting off with Mission Impossible, starring Tom Cruise. D.
D?
No.
I was gonna say, like, I would say probably like the lowest I'd put it is like C, but I would want to put in like B or A.
Yeah, I was thinking A.
Yeah.
I feel like
really good.
Some people would put in an A because it's the OG. No, I'm putting in an A because it's a good movie. I love how low key it is. It's just like, yeah, we got to get this list. Just got to break into a vault. And yeah, his whole team dies, but
I mean, I feel like the stakes in there are really, really good in the first one, especially like the twist.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also just love how like at the time the cinematography, you know, how it's filmed with it being like in London. It's a really, really good movie.
Yeah, I feel like we may talk about this more towards the middle of the pack here with the fifth one, but like I feel like these first four, the Mission Impossible movies, were very like, each movie you can feel the different director's style, and like it's clearly defined. And then you get to the Rogue Nation onto Final Reckoning, where it's just Christopher McQuarrie, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, obviously, because we'll talk about it. But like you definitely like each movie you get something different, and then Rogue Nation and onward, there is a very clear through line compared to the previous ones. But yeah, Mission Impossible. I mean, this was who's this? I mean, this is directed by an extremely, you know, popular is not the right word. Coveted. There we go. A very coveted director. And we never really got that again. I mean, we got John Woo in the second one. We got J.J. Abrams with the third one, and Brad Bird, who, you know, and they obviously they have their own merit to them. But like Brian De Palma specifically is such a sought after. Like, I mean, this guy did Scarface. Like, we don't have that. It's like if fucking Martin Scorsese did a fucking fucking Mission Impossible movie. Like, it's just not happening. But yeah, A. Torrent, what about Mission Impossible 2?
F.
But why?
It's not good.
No, it's not. Yeah, unfortunate. You think it'd work on paper, but it doesn't, does it?
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not. I will say, like, as a movie, it's F. But on a personal level, I put it in D or C because it's so funny.
It's fair. I said the highest I'll give it is like a D.
It's such a funny movie. Just constant slow motion doing flips and kicks and stuff. absolute nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous. John Woo is, it's John Woo. You expect him to do John Woo stuff, but yeah, it just does not click for this. And it's just it might be one of the most early 2000s movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, just like the color grading, the super long hair, the
fucking like sped up, like the sped up establishing shots with like the fucking like music. It is literally the most 2000s movie ever.
Constant explosions, but cool guys don't look at explosions kind of shit. Absolutely ridiculous in kind of the best way. But yeah, it's not a good movie. I couldn't even tell you the plot of this one. What I can tell you is that the villain of this one, played by Torn, who's he played by?
The villain?
Yeah, the villain. Fuck, I don't remember his name.
Dougray Scott? I don't know.
Yeah. Dougray Scott. Yes. Dougray Scott. He was gonna be Wolverine, and then he left to do this.
Oh my god, bro.
So if it wasn't for Mission Impossible 2, we wouldn't have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So if anything, it's S tier. But then we have Mission Impossible 3, directed by J.J. Abrams. Torn. J.J. Abrams, the king of bringing back a thing you liked that's fallen off, but then just not doing anything with it ever again. And if he ever does anything with it ever again, it's not good. But the first thing he does with it is good, pretty much exclusively every single time.
I'll put Mission Impossible 3 in A tier.
A tier, really?
Yeah, I fucking love Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, he's definitely the highlight.
Like he felt like so like intimidating in like an oddly calm way.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
I mean, the only actor we have like that is Walmart Matt Damon. Fuck.
Walmart Matt Damon?
Yeah, what's his name? I'm bad with names. I'm blanking on names today. Kirsten Dunst's husband.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Todd.
Yeah, Todd. Guy from Civil War.
Dude. Jesse Plemons.
Yes, Jesse Plemons. Jesus Christ. Things I should know. Things I do know, but they're just not coming to my brain, bro. You know why? It's because Tom Cruise is on the mind. Tom Cruise is taking up all my brain power.
I've been trying to tell you, bro. He's your favorite actor of all time.
Whoa, let's slow down there.
But hey, you don't want to listen to me.
Well, if what you're saying is just inaccurate.
You don't think Tom Cruise is your favorite actor?
I don't think Tom Cruise is a very good actor, period.
That's kind of crazy.
I disagree. I think he's good at Mission Impossible, and I think he's good at other movies where he's doing Mission Impossible but not as good.
You don't like him in World of Worlds?
You didn't like he's him just like there's Thunder? Nothing unless it's like a Mission Impossible where he's doing like stunts that no one else is gonna fucking do because they're not batshit. Like you could replace him with anyone. It's just the same.
You don't like him in Tropic Thunder?
I do like him in Tropic Thunder, but that's not really the same thing. Because part of the fun bit with Tropic Thunder, it's like, ha ha ha, that's Tom Cruise. My only problem with 3 is that I think it's kind of, other than Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think it's kind of forgettable.
You think that, well, yeah, I don't know.
I want to put it in B.
You want to put it in B?
Yeah.
Okay.
So next we
also get introduced to Simon Pegg in this Mission Impossible 3.
Oh yeah, that's true. So next we have Ghost Protocol, directed by Brad Bird, my goat.
Brad Goat.
This might be. It's not the best one. We'll get to the best one that everyone agrees is the best one, but this is probably my second favorite. So
I want to put it in B.
In B?
Yes, sir.
Why?
I don't remember it.
This is the one where he's scaling the building.
Yeah, I know.
And with Jeremy Renner, and I was skeptical at first, but then I was like, oh no, he's good actually.
This is the one where he runs out of the storm, right?
Yeah, the sandstorm.
Yeah, I like that. I like that as well. You were putting in A?
I wanted to put in an S.
Yeah. Oh, an S?
Yeah. I love this one. This one's awesome.
Hey, that's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that.
No, it's not. The thing with that Mission Impossible, any list I've seen, it could be the opposite of what we do today, and I'd be like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Except maybe one of them. But yeah, where do we put Ghost Protocol? You're saying B, I'm saying
You want to put it in S?
I want to put it in S, but you said B, so we could put it in A.
No. We could put it in S.
Okay.
I don't mind that at all.
Okay. I'll put it in S.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not ridiculous to say that.
No, it's not. In fact, I think it's the correct thing to say. It's S. Yeah, I love this one. Something about the look of this one too, in particular, I really, really enjoy.
I like some of the orange color grading because it doesn't look like a fucking 2000s movie.
Well, yeah, it's orange when it needs to be. Yeah, because exactly. Like when it's on the bill, it's very clear.
Yeah, it's very cool, like very like simple color grading.
Yeah, and also like when I was watching this for the first time, because I knew Jeremy Renner showed up at some point, and obviously the whole thing was like, oh, Jeremy Renner, may take over from Tom Cruise. At least that was the initial idea. And I was like, because obviously they did the same thing with Jason Bourne with Bourne Legacy. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but he's actually great in this. He's great in this movie. I was like, okay, Jeremy Renner. I think this came out the same year as the Avengers too. But yeah, I thought he was really great in this. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. Next up, we have the first Christopher McQuarrie Mission Impossible movie, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
I'm gonna say this.
Uh-oh.
I'll also say that it could be an S.
Really?
But I do like Rogue Nation. I love that shit. It was so cool. I'm saying it could be like the highest I would definitely give it is an S, but like I think it's like no.
It's no lower than A.
Yeah, it's no lower than A for sure.
It's definitely. I mean, it's one of the good ones. It's crazy. It's one of the good ones. Jeremy Renner back being good. This is the last one with Jeremy Renner in it, unfortunately, in my opinion.
I know it sucks,
but it is what it is, I guess. Man, what if we put it in high A?
That's fair.
So we put it above the first one, high A. This one I feel like is in a similar boat to like Mission Impossible 3, where like I don't remember a ton about it, but I know it's a good one. Because all this stuff I'm like, oh yeah, Jeremy Renner, but all this stuff in my head I'm like, wait, no, that's Ghost Protocol. To our next up, we have Mission Impossible Fallout.
S.
Yeah,
do I need to say more?
No, it's the best one.
It is the fucking best one. I love this shit so much. I love this shit, man. This shit means something to me, man. Rebecca Ferguson is goated in this one. Henry Cavill is goated. I love the twist. I love every single thing about it.
Some people say one of the best action movies ever.
That is not ridiculous to say that at all. It is really, really good.
Yeah, it's just peak, bro.
I'm like, bro, shit's fucking insane.
Yeah, and I think this has probably my favorite stunt in it. We'll get into it more, I think, when we talk about Final Reckoning. But yeah, I think this one has my favorite stunt. It has the best. Yeah, it's just the best one.
It's just fucking good, dude.
It's just the best one, Torn. It's like unfortunate that they peaked right here. And then you have the last two. Not well, we'll talk about it. Okay, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
I would put it no lower than a B. It's not S.
Yeah.
It's probably an A for me.
Same, but probably like a low A.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't. Yeah, it's not better than Rogue Nation.
No, it's not better than Rogue Nation. But it has, like, from a storytelling perspective, I like it. Like I like. For me, also, we'll talk about it later. I don't really care about Gabriel that much.
Oh no, I don't. But
I like him. I like him in this movie.
He's better in this than he's in Final Reckoning. Yeah,
no, for sure. But also I do like the idea of the AI in this movie. I think that's like one of the simplest and like not shitty ways to do like AI in a movie. Because there's just so much around it as well. And plus, like it really does have like some really nice fight scenes. I love the whole third act of them like in the trains. I love the addition of Pom Clementine Clementif.
I think it's Palm Clementieff.
Clementieff.
I think. I feel like I heard James Gunn say it like that, and I was like, well, if anyone knows.
Yeah, but so I love the addition of them in the movie.
Haley Atwell
as well. Oh my god, they were in. Yeah, yeah, that's right. But yeah, I'll put it. Yeah, we're definitely putting that in A, like low A.
Well, see, that's it. It's interesting because I don't love the AI.
You didn't like the AI?
No, I felt like I mean, again, it's better in this than it is in Final Reckoning. Because it feels like more of a threat. But yeah, I don't love the idea. It's like, oh, I know exactly what you're gonna do, and like everything and every choice you're gonna make, and like it's the trope where it's like, oh, I know what you're gonna do, so we got to think of the one thing that it won't think of.
Hey, bro, it's just the thinker in Mission Impossible.
No, it's the leader.
Yeah, the leader if it was good.
Leader if it was better. Yeah, Gabriel's better in that. Yeah, I do like the new additions to the cast. I don't love the train sequence.
You don't like it?
No, because it doesn't feel. It feels like since Rogue Nation since Ghost Protocol onward, this series has made the staple like, oh, this is the big stunt in the movie, and like the train didn't feel real at all. It felt very CG heavy, and then the big stunt they just like put in the trailer, and it also just doesn't look very real compared to Ghost Protocol, Fallout, and we'll get to it in Final Reckoning. But I felt like it just didn't. It had that like weird CGI haze, and like Fallout, the only issue I had with it as far as the stunts go is like when they skydove, like they did that for real, but then they covered it with a bunch of like clouds and like lightning and shit. I don't love that, but it still like looks good. And Dead Reckoning, I just felt like it just looked too CG heavy, especially the train sequence. I mean, how are you going to do that in real life? But like, I didn't think it looked great, unfortunately.
What do you think about that bike sequence, the bike stunt?
The bike stunt? I didn't. It felt like compared to what they did in Fallout. I'm like, okay, he's driving a bike off a cliff. I don't like in Fallout. Like he was driving a fucking helicopter. And then he was holding onto like a rope with a thing hanging off the end of it and like fucking fell, and it made my balls clench. And in this one, I'm like, okay, he's driving off in Dead Reckoning, he's driving off a cliff, and then he just pulls a parachute. Okay. And then like in the movie, he like lands like on the train or in the train. I don't remember exactly, but like that wasn't real. It just felt like the weakest as far as like the actual like stunt stuff goes. Basically, it was mid. Tor, now we have Final Reckoning, Tor. Also, it was too long. Movie's too long. You know what else is too long? Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
You think Final Reckoning is too long?
Yeah, it's too long.
Me personally, I don't think it was long enough. I think it should have been like literally like
4 hours.
At least 4 hours. I would have taken that.
Jesus.
I would have taken that for sure. I would put Final Reckoning in B.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's better than Dead Reckoning.
See, here's the thing about me and okay, so I will say this. I like the stakes a lot more because of like the extended shots in Final Reckoning. However, the third act, I'm not saying like it didn't feel like I think Gabriel fucking just tanks the third act for me like a little bit. I think he's way too fucking cartoony. I could tell the actor is having too much fun, which I don't like. I like how his character's he's like laughing all the time.
I don't like it when the actors have fun.
No, I don't like it when.
No, I get it. He does turn into like a cackling villain. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and I don't like that at all. Which like that's why, like I said, he's a completely different character in Dead Reckoning.
For sure.
And then I'm just like, oh, that kind of turns me off. I will say though, when it comes to Final Reckoning, I love the addition of Tremel Tillman. He's great. He's amazing.
Love him so
wonderful.
much.
Huh?
I said I love him so much.
Most definitely. I wanted to see. I thought he was gonna do some fighting shit like low key, but he didn't do that. He's just meant to be there. He's just happy to be there. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would say probably like Final Reckoning just feels like a B to me. High B, maybe like low A.
See, that's interesting. Yeah, I preferred Final Reckoning. It was too long, like Dead Reckoning. These have no reason to be 2.5 hours, over 2.5 hours. But like,
hey, it sounds like a skill issue, bro.
Yeah, the Gabriel thing, I don't disagree, but at the same time, I did like how it culminated. It was like there's
what?
only one parachute, and just fucking eats.
That was amazing. My theater was laughing like a motherfucker, bro.
It was so fucking funny. But like, again, going to the stunts in this, the plane sequence was easily the best one since Fallout. I still think Fallout is the better one.
Yeah.
But like, especially like seeing some of the behind the scenes footage, I'm like, this guy is fucking batshit, bro. Insane. Like there's the part where like he's like sort of like riding the bottom plane, and then it like jumps up and like hits the top of the top plane, and I'm like Jesus Christ, man, chill. It's like behind the scenes, but I mean he's climbing like he's on wires, but like there's still planes. He lets go, he starts getting dragged if the plane moves the wrong way, and he lets go, he gets fucking turned into soup. Like, shit's crazy. And then the submarine sequence, like, and it looked real. It looked real. And then the submarine sequence, like, obviously you have establishing shots that they obviously can't do because there's not going to be a gigantic submarine at the bottom of the ocean. But like when he's actually in the submarine, I'm like that's real. And like you can actually tell, and it was a well done, like tension filled scene, like all the fucking like missiles, like bombs, like fucking falling on each other. I'm like Jesus Christ. Like everything, like in Dead Reckoning, I didn't feel the stakes. In Final Reckoning, at least as far as like the stunts and like what Ethan's character is actually doing, I didn't feel those stakes. But in Final Reckoning, I definitely felt those stakes. And I said when Dead Reckoning came out, I was like, it felt very beholden on what Final Reckoning did, because it was, I mean, Final Reckoning was initially supposed to be a part 2, and Dead Reckoning kind of ends. It's like, oh, what's the AI gonna do? And this one, I feel like, doesn't do that much with it. Like they play, like they talk about it. It's like, oh, like the world doesn't know what's real and what's fake anymore, which, you know, AI, real life, towards real life. It's real life. But like they never actually do anything with that idea and that concept, which I find frustrating. But and this movie, in particularly the first act, the movie was like, man, Ethan Hunt, you're the best person to ever live. You're the greatest guy that anyone's ever known. Also, you're probably Jesus Christ. You may be Jesus incarnate. We're gonna give you the power of everything at the end of this movie because you're the only one the world can trust, because you're the best person to ever live. Tom Cruise, you're the greatest guy to have ever been born, will be born. You are the second coming. That's what this movie felt like. And like, I know it's like, what?
It's not ridiculous to say that, though.
I know the movie is like, it also doesn't end like it's the Final Reckoning, and like it's quote unquote like, oh, like the last one.
It definitely does not end.
No, not at all.
It ends like a few of the other ones for sure.
It ends exactly like the other one. And it's like, okay, so, and like you have the Luther at the end. It's going like, the world still needs you, Ethan, although no one's ever gonna know because you're Jesus Christ. But and it's like, okay, so is this the final? Like, I'm not opposed to the idea. That's like, because like if it's the final one, you don't have to like kill off the character. Like, I'm not saying you have to do that, because it could just be the send off. It's like, and he kept doing Mission Impossibles till the day he died, kind of thing. But like, there's no real indicator that it is the final one, which makes me think it's not the final one, which just comes off as disingenuous. But on the whole, I enjoyed it much more than Dead Reckoning. Like Dead Reckoning, I was watching and I was like, yeah, it's Mission, I get it. And Final Reckoning, I was like, yeah, I get it, but also, ooh, cool stunts. I'm okay with putting it B. I'll do a high B.
That's fair.
But also like with Final like you have all the what to me felt like forced callbacks. Like you have
I talk about fucking I talk about like Dunley,
what
the guy who they saw in the fucking like Arctic place.
And the guy from Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah.
No, that one I actually liked.
Good.
But it's like the other guy, John Voight's character.
Oh yeah, like him
with that guy,
like
it's like,
son.
oh, he's his son. Like, okay, why? This is so unnecessary. And then one that I'm not like against it, but I'm sort of like indifferent to. Gabriel was like, oh, you remember the third movie? And you grabbed the thing that was actually this thing. It's all right, man. I just feel like if you're gonna do that, you have two options. You either not do it at all, or you only stick with one, which would be the Mission Impossible 1 thing with the guy in the Arctic, or you like go all in and be like, the AI has been there like since the beginning and chose you to like go through all these movies to get to where you are now, to, you know, enact the AI's like final plan or whatever, which still isn't good. So it's like they wrote themselves, at least the way I see it, they wrote themselves into a shit situation where it's like, okay, how much does the AI know? That's always the problem with this, like these like AI or like know-it-all characters like the leader that are like supposed to know all and have knowledge of like every possible timeline and every single possible outcome, because it's just I feel like it's just kind of lazy writing. I can think of everything and I know everything and I know all your moves and exactly what you're gonna do, but oh no, don't do the one thing I didn't think of. Oh no, I'm defeated. Like, all right, man. I feel like there was something I watched recently that had a similar thing. It was like, oh, if this goes wrong, I'll just pivot to a different. Oh, it was My Hero. It was My Hero. Fucking All For One, just being like, I know everything. If this goes wrong, I'll just pivot to a different thing. It's like, okay, we all know you're gonna fucking. I don't like that trope. Tor, what'd you think about Final Reckoning?
I think Final Reckoning is good. It's not the best. It's not the worst out of the Mission Impossibles. There are some things that I like better than Dead Reckoning. I think in terms of like stunts and overall like action, I think Dead Reckoning is like a little bit better in terms of like overall just being like a movie. I mean, I don't know. I say they're like kind of equal in a sense. The only thing that I don't like, for me for sure, I do agree about that one guy. I don't even fucking remember his name, but him being like, yeah, John Voight's son. Whenever I was watching it, I didn't really think too much of it, but now that you said it, I was like, yeah, it is kind of like a weird choice to just make him his son and like have like this like grudge. I don't know. I don't like characters like that where it's like, hey, you killed my dad or you killed a member of my family, even though they did some fucked up shit. I don't know. I never really like those types of characters. But yeah, we already talked about Gabriel and how he's a completely different character. He doesn't feel intimidating in this movie at all. I also I think it's like, not that I don't hate it, but I think that like they could have done without, like, you know, kind of like making, unless it's like, you know, like them talking to the AI. I don't know, it's kind of like crazy to me. Like I said, I don't really mind it, but I think they could have done without it, and it still would have been more impactful.
You know what I thought they were gonna do initially?
What?
It's like towards the beginning in when they break out of that, I don't even know where the fuck they are, but like Gabriel's there and they break out like right at the beginning. And there's like that chamber and he has to put on like this mask and get into like the little coffin thing.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna like have to like relive like events from like the old movie or some shit like that.
That would have been kind of crazy.
I was like, oh no. I was like, no, we're gonna see like fucking
DH Tom Cruise.
Yeah, or some shit like that. But that didn't happen. You know what? You know what was missing from
what?
Final Reckoning and even Dead Reckoning? Honestly,
what?
A lot of them are Corey stuff. Gadgets.
Yeah, there wasn't too much of that.
There wasn't fucking any of that in Final Reckoning. I don't remember Dead Reckoning enough to confidently say if there were or were not gadgets.
There was a little bit of gadgets in Dead Reckoning.
It was like fucking nothing. I mean, one of my favorite parts of the franchise is that they come up with these like little crazy ass fucking gadgets. Like, I think it was Ghost Protocol. Like, my favorite gadget of the series is like this like projection screen that has like a parallax effect for the person on the other side, so it looks like there's not like I love that shit. And obviously, like, they only do the masks like once in Final Reckoning, and that upsets me. What's Mission Impossible without masks?
Hey, bro. Hey, you said it. For
a movie that's like doing a bunch of callbacks, you're not going to do a
bunch of callbacks with the gadgets and everything. Where's the dialogue? Where's the dialogue from the other movies? Yeah. They also did say like Reckoning like fucking like a couple of times, and I'm like, oh my god, these are the thing. That's the name of the movie. I rewatched Brave New World last night with my family because they hadn't seen it yet. For real?
Yeah.
I think we went to go see it with them.
No.
Or I thought like you had saw it together.
No, I forgot why they. I think maybe they like went to Detroit or some. I don't remember.
Can't have shit in Detroit, bro.
You can't have shit in Detroit. But like, my mom gave it like a 6.7 or something like that. Unfortunate. But at the end of the movie, they were like, "This is a brave new world," and I was like, "Oh shit, that's the name of the movie."
Hell yeah.
That movie is.
It's a movie.
Sad.
Sad as fuck.
That movie's sad. I was watching. I was like, "Oh no!" I didn't change my score, but I thought about it. But yeah, I think this is a good list. Just to recap, we have an F tier, Mission Impossible 2. Dog shit. Dog shit. There's that part at the end where they are like on the motorcycles and shit, and they're like jousting. This shit's ridiculous.
Yeah. The stunt work on the beach is so wonky, bro.
It's so funny. It's a great movie. But it's dog shit.
Great how bad it is.
Yeah. We have nothing in D tier, nothing in C tier, because Mission Impossible. I mean, look, I was shitting on Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning a bit, and I feel like it sounded like I was negative, but I did enjoy these. I did, on the whole, I did enjoy them. There's just some things again, or not again, but like, I mean, I've said in the past in the previous episodes, like the stuff that bugs me the most is missed opportunities, and I feel like in both of these there's a lot of missed opportunities. But in B tier we have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and Mission Impossible 3, and in A tier we have Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible #1, and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. And then in S tier we have Ghost Protocol, and of course the GOAT, Mission Impossible Fallout.
You already know.
God, Fallout's good. What a movie, man. But yeah, nothing made my balls clench like him falling off that rope onto the hanging fucking, I don't even know what they were carrying in Fallout. Shit had my ass clenched, bro. And then of course, like, it's not even like the stunts too. You just have like good action sequences in Fallout, like the shit with Henry Cavill like reloading his arms. But like that whole action sequences was just really good. And you have like in Final Reckoning, there's maybe like one of those, but it doesn't live up to Fallout, unfortunately. There was a video that was recommended to me on YouTube and I didn't watch it. It was like Christopher McQuarrie like reflects on how like the reception of Dead Reckoning influenced Final Reckoning. I should watch that because I am curious. But Torin, that is the topic. So, did you watch anything this week?
Yup.
Yeah.
While on my beautiful trip to New York, I rewatched Men in Black.
Yeah.
Which fucking sucks because Men in Black doesn't fucking suck. I'm saying what sucks is that some of the stuff was filmed in New York, and I was like, like we should go like to some of the Mission Impossible filming locations. That's kind of what I wanted to do in this trip to New York, is like there's more food spots, and like I wasn't really getting stuff. I only got like pretty much 2 things for myself.
Last time you went to New York, it was still kind of like COVID.
Yeah, it was like 2022, and so this one, it was like, it was cool. It was a cool trip. But yeah, no, I like some of the locations in Men in Black I wanted to go to, but we just didn't go to any because of like what else that we wanted to do. But yeah, no, Men in Black, it's a fucking classic. It is amazing. There's a line that Will Smith says that I'm probably gonna put in my caption on Instagram, and because he like, he's chasing this guy. He doesn't know that he's an alien, but he's chasing this guy, and then he jumps onto like like one of those like tour buses, and then he's just like, it's just raining black people in New York, and so I might just do that. It's so fucking funny.
Bro, it's such a fucking good movie, man. It's a great, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's a great trilogy. I love 2 and 3.
I don't remember 2 or 3 at all, so I'm gonna have to definitely watch those again.
3 is definitely the wackiest one, as you can expect. That's usually how it goes. But like, I think 2 is my least favorite, because there's something about 3, despite it being super wacky, that really works for me. And Josh Brolin is playing young Tommy Lee Jones, and he's doing a fucking fantastic job. He's doing a fucking incredible job at it. They're just fucking good movies. And maybe that's your next adventure, is watching Men in Black 2 and 3.
Yeah, possibly. And then while on the plane back to Houston, Jesus Christ, bro, that was a long flight. It was like a 4-hour fucking flight. I saw one of them days with Keke Palmer and SZA. It's literally just like,
yeah, I've heard mixed things.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, of course, like, it takes inspiration from Friday, it's heavily inspired by like Friday, and there's some stuff that works. I mean, it's definitely like a little formulaic and tropey, but I still think that like Keke Palmer and SZA have a great chemistry with each other, so it kind of balances out like most of the stuff with the movie. Cat Williams is also in this, and he's actually like, not saying like Cat Williams is like bad, but like his character in this is like, he's not annoying,
He's not just doing Cat Williams.
Yeah, he's not just doing Cat Williams. Like, he actually like in terms of like the story, I see where he fits, and he's not like he's not unbearable, and so that he's cool in this. But yeah, overall, it's just like an average like comedy, and like literally when I'm watching the movie, I just could not fucking get Friday out of my head, because literally like, it's not like beat for beat, but it's like you can tell, like you can definitely see the inspiration. But yeah, I saw that, and that was it. I'll give this movie one of them days, like maybe like a 6 out of 10.
Just one of those days.
Lowest I'll give is like a 5. Yeah.
Unfortunate. Torrin, I watched 2 things. I might rant about one of them. Depends on my energy level when I get to it. But first, I watched Ocean's 11. Fucking finally. The Ocean's movies are a series of movies that I've been meaning to watch for the longest time now. But it's one of those. It's one of those series that, like, if you don't watch it immediately, like the second you see it on a streaming services, the next time you fucking go to look for it, it's gone. It's just gone. So it was finally on Netflix, and I was like, okay, I'm watching it. I'm watching it, because otherwise it's just gonna vanish. So I did. And Steven Soderbergh, most recently did Black Bag, did Logan Lucky, which you loved. It was just a great movie. It's one of those things. It's like when this movie came out, like 2000, 2001, some shit like that. But it's one of those movies where it's like, it was so, I guess, big at the time that like a lot of movies have tried to replicate that. So it's like, it's not like anything in the movie I haven't seen before, but it was just really well done. It's like if you imagine it came out today, it's like it's doing tropes, but it's doing tropes well, so you don't really care. It's like the thing I had with like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where it's like a lot of the stuff in that show, like I saw coming, but like it was done so well that I didn't care. That's kind of how I felt about this. The cast was great. George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, except one person in it who fucking sucked was Don Cheadle. He was doing a horrific British accent, terrible British accent. I don't know if that was a choice. I don't know what happened there, but it's bad. Yeah, it's not a good accent, but otherwise, great film. I think I'd give it like a 8 out of 10. I'll watch Oceans 12 and 13 eventually. I've heard they're not nearly as good, but I'll still watch them. That's what they said about The Matrix, and I enjoyed those. Anyway, I also watched The Last of Us Season 2, and I must say, I am quite disappointed.
Yeah, I've been telling you, bro.
Shut up.
I try to fucking tell you, bro. You were like,
you tell me you haven't seen it.
Yeah, why would I? I try to warn you, bro. I'm, without being like them, I'm literally Barry Allen in Batman v Superman. I'm trying to warn you, bro.
Jesus Christ!
Don't watch it. Don't. The loss of our budget.
Bella Ramsey's a terrible casting choice. That's what you said.
It should have been. And then before I fucking,
she's ugly. That's what you said.
No, I never said that. Before I banish off into like fucking thin air, I say it should have been Kaylee Spady, and then I fucking banish.
But yeah, I was incredibly okay. Look, the first season I thought was great. I am of the belief that if you're going to do an adaptation or a remake or what have you, you either have to like do it the same, or if you are going to change it, it has to be for the better, or it has to be additive. So like in season 1, they did the whole thing with Bill and shit like that, and that was phenomenal. Incredible episode of television. A lot of the stuff that they pulled directly from the games, I thought was handled really well. In fact, there was a couple sequences that I felt like the show did better than the game. I think on the whole, if I had to criticize season 1 of anything, maybe it could have used a couple more episodes. But on the whole, I thought it was a great adaptation. It's also like remakes are those things where it's like, if you're adapting it from a different medium, I think it's really important that you keep it as accurate to the original as possible. Because for example, like Lilo and Stitch, I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to it, but a lot of people are upset about the changes they've made, which I understand. But then you have another remake like How to Train Your Dragon, which I think people are against it because people are against remakes. However, to be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% against it, because they're doing it like they're doing a 1-to-1 remake. They're doing a shot-for-shot remake of the animated movie. And while to a lot of people that seems redundant, and I understand why, I completely get it, there's an unfortunate amount of people out there that refuse to watch animated films because it's quote unquote just for kids. And that's extremely close-minded and extremely annoying. So if you're remaking a live action, keeping it the same, I think it's the right way to go, because you're gonna have a whole new audience that wouldn't have seen the animated movie because they're close-minded, that are gonna see this and maybe enjoy it. And so The Last of Us, I feel like they did that for the most part, and the stuff that they added or the stuff that they changed, I thought was good, and stuff that they added, I thought emboldened and made the story better. Season 2, however, The Last of I should preface by saying I think The Last of Us Part 2, the video game, is one of the best games ever made. It's one of the best stories ever told in a video game, and I think it's just incredible. The controversial part of The Last of Us Part 2, I mean, there's a bunch of it, but the controversial part is its structure. Minor spoilers for both the game and the show, but you're essentially following two perspectives in Ellie and Abby. And in the game, you play Abby a little bit in the beginning, but you're mostly playing through Ellie until you get to a certain point, and then it's Abby 100% of the way through until you get to another point, and then it switches back to Ellie. And it's just a huge gut punch, and it's meant to be that. And also the game shows and doesn't tell, in the game it shows and doesn't tell, but in the show I don't know if it's because they tried taking criticism from the first season. I don't know if it's because of the backlash the game got for part 2, but it's like they took all the swings that they took in the game that I think made it as good as it is despite its controversy, and they're stripping it back, I think, because they're scared they're gonna upset people, and in doing so are making the story significantly worse. They're intentionally... Ellie in the game is so hell-bent on revenge. She's just a ball of boiling rage, and she is gonna stop at nothing to get her goal. But in the show, or in the game, she has doubts, but she doesn't show it outwardly. It's a buildup of action after action after action, and her, coming to a tipping point. But in the show, it's like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't want to hurt anybody. Oh no. And I'm like, it's just not as good. And structurally it's different. There's a scene in I want to say like the second to last episode of the second season that in the game is quite literally the last scene in the entire game. And the reason that scene works so well is because it's the last scene you get. But in the show, it's in the second to last episode of the season, and it's just not going to hit this. I can't talk about it in depth because it'll spoil the rest of the show, and I don't want to. Even though the game has been out, I don't want to spoil the rest of the show for people, which I think they're going to do 4 seasons of now. And I saw some people like, oh, they're milking it. I actually completely get it. They took 1 season to tell Ellie's story. They're going to take another season to tell Abby's story. They're going to take another season to do essentially an epilogue. Anyway, point is, what makes The Last of Us Part 2 so good is its structure, and they're fucking with the structure, and it's fucking with the story. And I'm praying that, because they haven't started shooting the 3rd season, I don't even know if they started writing the 3rd season. I'm hoping that they're looking at feedback from this 2nd season, which in my opinion has been a massive disappointment, and make those changes to be as true to the game as possible, because I think that's imperative. Also, like I was saying with the first season, the changes that they made were, I think, good. In this, the changes they made, I think, aren't very good. Like, for example, they get to a theater, and Ellie has a small falling out with her friend Dina, and she goes off on her own. But in the show, they immediately, like, they don't even get into a fight, really. They just are cool, and then they leave together, which leads into a bunch of different stuff. And then the ending of the show is the tone and its execution is baffling compared to the game. It's just so odd to me. I don't know what happened in between season 1 and season 2, where the production, it's not even the production, because the show still looks great, but it takes a nosedive. There's a scene at the end of the 2nd season where I won't get into too many specifics, but Ellie kills 2 people, and in the game she just straight up kills them and she only feels remorse after she learns certain information about one of the characters she kills. But in the show, it's accidental, which I think completely undermines her journey. And I just find it extremely frustrating, the direction they're taking it. And the thing is, it's not even bad. And it's also, from what I've seen online, and this is including to me and the people I've talked to, this is only frustrating for people who have played the game. Because like my mom and my dad, and even my brother only knows, I think, like the first quarter of the game. But like for people who haven't played the game, they don't know anything outside of the show. And so for them, it's like, yeah, good television. But I know what the story can be. So, and I'm like, it could be so much better than this. And it's so frustrating. But it's like, it's still good TV. It's just not as good as it could be because there's a better version. It's just I will say it has nothing to do with the casting. Bella Ramsey's still doing a great job with what she's given. All my issues with it are just the writing and the direction they're taking this version of the plot and these characters. It's just unfortunate. The best parts of this season are when they directly adapt the scenes from the game. There's a scene in Jackson where they're having a party that was exactly like the game. It was incredibly well done. The part I was talking about, the last scene of the game, that's for whatever reason just played out in this season of The Last of Us, is honestly arguably better than the game. But it's placed in this second season instead of whatever the last season is going to be. I don't know if it's because they don't know if they're going to even get there, so they felt like they had to do it now. I don't know what the decision-making process was, but I just find it so frustrating. But it's all acted really, really well. Pedro Pascal is doing a phenomenal job, especially in that one scene I was talking about. But yeah, maybe they'll do better in 5 years when season 3 comes out. That's at the rate they're going. But I don't know. We'll see. But that is all I watched. Torrin, is that the show?
That is the show.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Avengers podcast. If you want to follow us, we're at Avengenerds on Blue Sky. That's AVENGE Nerds. All one word. If you want to follow either one of us, you can reach me at @Zenith_ on Twitter. Where can they reach you?
On Torrentino on Blue Sky.
Hell yeah. We also have a Discord. If you'd like to join the conversation there. This will be linked in the show notes. You can also check out our link tree for any additional links you may be interested. You can also review the show in-app on Apple Podcasts. If you leave 5 stars in a review, it would really help us out. Thanks again for listening to the Adventures Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Later.